for 68th District.
Okay, the Republican primary?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Tell me, why are you interested in the state representative position?
I got elected to the Sunburg School Board 2 years ago. And during that time, I've really seen, working with our treasurer and superintendent and administration, all the restrictions, all the mandates that's come down from the state level, everything from the money. Every school in this county is running deficit. The education part really bothers me about what our schools can and cannot do. And the only way I can take care of this is if I run at the state level and help get the pass through for the money to come back to the education system, to the communities.
Okay. What is something unique you think that you can bring to the table?
I have a very strong will, determination. Once I get my mind set on how something should be operating, how it should be ran, it's hard to deter me from getting that job done. I like becoming very educated in whatever subject we're dealing with, getting aspects from both sides, getting not only what the voters want, but understanding the reality of once a bill gets passed, what happens from there on after. I don't want to get to a state level to where people think I'm doing a job to get reelected. I'm going to the state level to where I want to make a change for the future, just not for the next 2 years for the next election.
What are the two biggest issues in the district, and how do you plan to address these?
Two biggest issues is the education and the budget. I'd like to see it done more of how we run our daily household. We have so much money coming in, we have to determine what's a priority. In this state, I believe our kids should be a priority, to where when a budget is created, the education system has a predetermined amount that is marked out per kid, and then right on down the level between the National Guard, the military, the transportation department, everything is in a logical order until whatever is left over goes to the items that are the least necessary. I don't want to get into a position to where the state is funding for reasons other than what is a priority in the state.
Okay. How would you go about accomplishing these goals then?
What I believe in doing is, for each bill that comes up, and what I'm planning on doing for the budget, is working with the other Republicans and Democrats. You have to have both on the same table to just get that done. Set a priority for what the state needs. Attach the dollar amount, what we need to what we need to have for each one of those items, and work on getting that through, pushing why it has to be done, getting the backing of our supporters, of our communities, of getting the state back fiscally stable, with the priority set ahead for years down the road of what has to happen for each budget year.
Okay. Do you feel legislation should be passed that will stop double dipping, and why?
This is a tough subject. I don't firmly believe in double dipping, but the problem I have is government itself. Everybody is complaining government's getting too big. Do we want to open the door for government to say who we can hire and why, for any reason whatsoever? The problem I have is if we pass a legislation that stops double dipping, then what's the next step down the road? Our government keeps on growing and growing. What do we need to do to stop it and take things more at a community level, a personal level, to where we don't rely on the state for everything that we want to get changed.
Okay. What is your definition of double dipping then?
A person that retires and rehires into a very similar position. I do believe there are certain cases to where there are exceptions to the rule. For the most part, I wouldn't ever see myself doing it. I don't like the philosophy, but there again, do we want government getting into that arena?
Okay. Finally, Jason, tell me, why should people vote for you for state representative?
This is who I am. I'm determined, very strong willpower. I love talking with people, listening to them, and understanding why they want to get something done for a particular reason. Understanding what passions are behind them, what has to be done in the state. I think state of Ohio is one of the best states. It's the most diverse cultural state in the union. Between blue collar, white collar workers, I believe if we get the budget back on track, be able to create an environment for companies to come back to Ohio to create the jobs that we need, Ohio will come back to be one of the strongest states. You know, we've lost a lot of representatives in the last couple of years because people are leaving the state of Ohio. I want to see that reversed. I want to see us have more, because the more people we have in a state, the more representatives we have, the more representation we'll have in Washington, and the better off we'll be as a state.